Hey guys, welcome to the show, welcome to TalkCrypto. Today is Thursday, the 6th of June. Bitcoin is just under 71,000. It's sunny and it's all looking good, you know, it's doing its thing. Bitcoin's doing its thing, it's just not doing a lot, but that's all good. Listen guys, quickly, if you're new to the show, give us a quick like. It doesn't cost you anything, but I really appreciate it. And if you're super amazing, give us a subscribe again. It doesn't cost you anything, and hopefully I can provide value and share my little tidbits with you. Quick background on me. I come from a financial services background and property, sort of 2 decades roughly in that sector. I've since transitioned my career into tech and marketing, and yeah, working on a startup myself. Not in the crypto space, but in the AI space. And I just try and share. I've been in the crypto space since 2020 and being a consumer of all the news, all the content, everything that's been going on. Learned a huge amount throughout that journey. And now I'm at the point where I genuinely want to try and help onboard people to Bitcoin and crypto and help them. And this is probably the easiest way that I can do it, rather than sort of chucking it down people's throats, you know, or your friends and family. It's like, no, that's not my style. So, you know, if my friends and family sort of come across this channel, hopefully they'll learn something, as hopefully you do too. Now, I don't pretend to have all the answers, and part of, again, another reason for doing the show is it helps me verbalize my thinking. It helps me verbalize my rationale, question my thought process, and eventually I would love to have more of an interview style show, which is why it's all called TalkCrypto, and not just me talking, but getting other people to talk. The reason I do this format is because I'm working on a startup in the AI space, and I genuinely just don't have the time. So I do this like in between school runs, between meetings, getting to work. So it's literally a one-take video. I literally just whack it on here and just talk to you guys, thinking about a topic I want to share with you. That's it. There's no other planning than that. So sometimes my chats can steer off track, but hey, that's part of the fun. It also sort of helps me get better, hopefully, at formulating my thinking, explaining my thought process, and verbalizing it, and hopefully sharing value to you. So really, there's a few of the reasons why I'm doing it and what I'm doing it for. And you know, I want to contribute to the crypto and Bitcoin space, and you know, in whatever way. And this is my way of contributing. I'm so passionate about it, and I so fundamentally believe that it will change the world, and it can change so many people's individuals' lives, the power of Bitcoin. So it's incredible. Now listen, without going on a quick rant and explaining, I'm going to bore you to death, aren't I? So quickly update, if you're not getting familiar, I'm doing a $1 a day Bitcoin dollar cost averaging challenge over the next sort of 10 roughly years till 2032, 2033. Which is then not this halving, not obviously not this halving, not the next one, but the one after that. So 2 more halvings in the future, just to see, you know what, just dollar costing averaging $1 a day, the smallest denominator that you can possibly do to demonstrate and historically record the fact that it will make a significant difference. Because people often think, no, they're too late to Bitcoin, that they can't afford it, I can't buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. I can buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. And I'm going to evidence and prove over a long period of time, boring you guys to death watching these videos, showing you, and you'll look back and go, wow, I wish I maybe did follow Ben on his $1 a day Bitcoin challenge, or you know, or it helped me dip my toe into it. I've been sitting on the sidelines thinking about it, but I haven't actually pulled the trigger. Hopefully this will help, and we'll see where it's at. So an update, every day. I don't do a video every day. I do try. Sometimes life gets in the way, family, work, all the rest of it, but I always do my $1 a day, whether I do a video or not. And whenever I do, I record it on here and in the chats. The figure, what did I get? 1,750 sats or 54 sats, something like that. So for my dollar, that's how many sats I got, and we'll see what that equates to in the future. I think it'll be a lot more than worth $1. So let's just watch the space. Topic of discussion now is I saw an interview last night, and it was just a little flippant statement that one of the commentators made on GB News, and they were talking about, you know, what's going on with the general election. Again, for those of you who are not in the UK, we've got a general election coming up. We've got two sides of the same coin competing with each other, Labour, Conservatives. Nothing's going to happen. They all lie. They're disenfranchising so many, you know, millions and millions of people. The economy's, you know, anyway, I'm not going to go on a rant, but ultimately the money's broken, and no political wing is going to be able to or will have the desire to change it. I don't think they even recognise it as a problem. It's too easy to just follow pretty much what's gone before. You've got the civil service behind the scenes who, you know, make sure, I guess, whichever party we sort of follow whatever they deem as their middle ground, whatever. And yeah, there's not going to be much change. But one party I do think is given an opportunity to be a bit more radical, and I think we do need a radical shake-up, is reform. And it's interesting to see what's coming out there. But this isn't really about a political sort of conversation. What struck me was somebody made a point of everyone's getting fed up with being taxed to the hill, and blah 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 blah, and people are gonna, you know, millionaires are leaving the country in droves. And one of the commentators, I can't remember her name, just made a flippant statement. No, they won't do that. Da, 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 da. You know, all talk, blah blah blah. And it just struck me the naivety to think that people who are wealthy, people who are wealthy are very mobile. If people aren't being treated well in wherever they are, they can very easily get up and go. I looked at the statistics on this after that. Just a little flippant statement. It was hardly probably noticed by most people. It was just the arrogance of, no one's going to go. We can carry on taxing them. No one, you know, they're just going to basically suck it up and get on with it and tough shit sort of thing. And I thought, well, actually, no, we don't have to suck it up and just accept it and bend over royally. And it's the statistics. I looked at the statistics. I'm trying to drive and talk and manoeuvre. Okay, it's good for your multitasking, doing this, by the way. Right. Oh, let's go for a change. Right. Where was I? Not multitasking. Chatting to you guys. Right. Where was I? Let's get some nice fresh air. Look at it, sunny, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. When it's sunny in England and the weather's good, the blue sky, you cannot get a better place in the world. It truly is gorgeous. You've got the beautiful greenery, beautiful fresh air, sunshine. The only problem is it's not often like this. So when it is, it's very, very pleasant. Back on topic. So I looked at the statistics, and they're estimated for last year, 2023, to be 3,200 people, millionaires, leaving the UK. The year before that, it was 1,600. Now, the 3,000, 3,500, whatever the figure was, was an estimate. So I couldn't see any data confirming that this is like the exact figures, 100%. It's easy enough. Go and do some research yourself as well. But it just struck me that it's doubled. It's doubled. So what's going to be really interesting to see for 2024, obviously we're only halfway through, is what do the figures look like at the end of 2024? Is it going to double again? Is it going to be sort of flat? Is it going to be the same? I saw another brief article on Bloomberg, who and somebody had interviewed their high net worth clients, billionaires and all the rest of it in London, and a lot of them are scrambling. As soon as an election was called, a lot of them were scrambling to either move, basically because they're expecting a Labour Party to win, and that inevitably will mean tax rises. And it doesn't matter what anyone says in the election; they're all going to lie. They all manipulate. So it's almost pointless listening to anything that any of them say. And it was just so then following up with that, there was an article on Bloomberg talking about it as well. So it's the arrogance to think that people aren't going to go, I've had enough, I'm going to leave, is mind-blowing. And when people have money, particularly when people have money in Bitcoin, if you've got the hardest asset in the world, that is literally code, you can just move like that. You can get anywhere in the world without any friction. If it's property, you've got to sell it, you've got to find a buyer, you've got to put it on the market, it takes a while, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot harder. But there are more and more people who are doing very, very well in crypto and Bitcoin, and they will do incredibly well later this year into next year. That people are mobile, more mobile than they've ever been before, because for those people who are investing in crypto and Bitcoin, literally, like I said, you can literally remember the seed phrase in your mind, and that's all you need to remember. That's all you need to know. So that generation, and it's interesting actually, because again, I talked about how the boomers did brilliantly out of property, but it's not serving the younger generations. And crypto and Bitcoin is a new opportunity that has been given to us, because all other options were just being crucified due to debasement of currency and all the rest of it. And Bitcoin is outperforming every other asset class by a ridiculous magnitude. So there's a whole wave of young crypto investors, Bitcoin investors, who are going to be making a lot of money, and they're going to be going, okay, well, I don't have to just accept the norm, the status quo, what you tell me. You know what? As good old Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist says it, you go where you're treated best. So it's going to be really interesting to watch these figures and to call out these people who have the arrogance just to think that, nah, they'll just, Texas will go up and people won't move, and they say they will, but they don't. People will. I love this country. I don't want to move, but it's on my radar. And a lot of it's going to depend on how we're all treated in this space. I think we're all getting fed up with, onerous regulation, onerous bureaucracy, Big Brother telling us what to do, how to live our lives constantly. It's like, piss off. Let me just get on with my life and just leave me alone. I want small government. I don't want government interfering in my life. But the problem is, the way governments are, they're just designed to get bigger and bigger. And they just want to impact and touch everyone's lives. And it's all these people who work in these sort of departments, and it's in their interest to expedite the growth of the state and the government, because everyone's sort of justifying their jobs, even though they probably have to take a day off a week paid for mental health policy. I think I heard some ridiculous fact that in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm certain this is correct, everyone who works in the civil service has to take 1 day off a week paid for their mental well-being. On top, this is not included their holiday, on top of their 28, 35 days, whatever holiday that they have. 1 day a week paid, just to make sure they're feeling all right. So all of those small business owners out there who are grinding it, again, hassled by, the tax man, the VAT man, not submitting their tax returns in time because they're busy trying to get a deal together, to making sure they're updating their business rates, to all the bullshit that businesses have to go through just to all the paperwork is just, if you've never been self-employed and you've only ever been employed, it's hard for you to probably appreciate the amount of bureaucracy there is in running a small business. But people just want to be left just to get on with it, just to grow, thrive without being held back and restricted. So it's going to be really interesting. I think the more and more the state intrudes in our lives, I think, whether it's onerous taxation, whether it's bureaucracy, whether it's whatever it is, people are mobile. People are becoming more and more mobile, and the brains and the money are going to go, you know what, I don't have to take this, I'm out of here. So yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how those figures play out in the coming years. Quick one. I know we've been 17 minutes, and this is really talking about having patience in this cycle. And again, I keep talking about it. I keep saying, look, guys, after the halving, we had a big up to the halving excitement, and then flat. We're just flat. And the worst thing you can do is quit at this point. You're absolutely gonna kick yourself. What happens at there's going to be a point, just quickly. There's going to be a point in the not too distant future. It's going to take a few more months, and I'll come on to that. That it's going to go absolutely crazy. It's going to go into what Raoul Pal calls, and I encourage you to follow him on his YouTube, Journeyman and Real Vision. Raoul Pal, he calls it the banana season. The banana season is the point in the bull cycle. When we are in the bull cycle, it's just we're getting in a consolidation sort of phase. That it gets really fun, really fast, really crazy, and you think it's going to blow your mind. The banana season, the banana zone, is going to be the point when prices just go absolutely mad. And right now, it's probably, for some of you, probably hard for you to imagine that, especially if you haven't been through it before. Like I said, it's going to be going, sideways. And I was thinking to myself, I suspect it's not really going to kick off until November, December, and then maybe we'll have like about 6 months where it just goes bonkers, which will take us into April, May, June next year. Because what you got to remember even though we're in the bull market, it's not just going to go up for like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. It's never going to happen like that. Gradual consolidation, dip down, consolidation, gradual, and then there will be this crazy period. I had a look at the last cycle, 2020. The Bitcoin halving was May 2020. So pretty similar to our this year's halving, which was April. It wasn't until and again, I encourage you to look at the charts. It wasn't until basically nothing happened. after May until about November. And even November wasn't like crazy, but November was when everything started to go crazy. So if in May, November, flat, November, I can't go high, like that. So what I'm saying is, don't expect anything probably to happen. I mean, I might be wrong. I probably will be wrong. So don't trust me, okay, guys? But nothing happened. Literally nothing, nothing happening for like months. So you've got to get your head out of it, thinking, every day looking at the charts, going, oh God, nothing's happening. Every hour, every minute, looking at the price, going up by a penny, gone down to 10 penny, whatever, a pound. Oh, it's gone up by £1,000, whatever. I was dipped 10 grand, whatever. Nothing's really going to happen, I don't think, until much later this year, November, even December. So don't be despondent. And that when you're in it, like what we June. I mean, that's quite a long time away to wait, isn't it? You think, bloody hell, so we've got June, we've got July, we've got whole of June because we're only at the beginning, July, August, September, October, November, potentially December. We've got 6 or 7 months. That's just, you're going to get bored listening, and there's going to be just whatever articles coming out, talking not a lot, because not a lot's happening. Yeah, you're going to get new projects launching, things like that. That stokes a bit more interest. But not a lot's going to happen. But when it does, make sure you're still here, because it's literally going to go boring, 6 months, 5 months, however long it's going to be. Rocket ship. It's going to be bonkers. But then don't get complacent. Don't think that that's going to happen. That's when you're on that ship, you get into the mindset this is normal. Just like you're getting in the mindset that now is normal. Like, oh, this is boring. It's just going to be like this forever. Nothing's going to happen. You're trying to sort of be a bit more mindful, zoom out, have a bit of a wider perspective. Look at charts sometimes to get that perspective, particularly when you zoom out, because I think it does help look at what happened in previous cycles. So just be patient, guys. And yeah, it's going to all work out very well. I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'll catch up with you on the next one. Leave some comments below as well. Let me know what you think. Let me know what, if I'm completely, mad about people wanting to move because they're not being treated well, or, whether you disagree, agree, or whether indeed that's something that you're thinking of, and whether and how you feel, what's going to happen in the next, 5 or 6 months. Are we going to see it take off? Now I've said all that. Tomorrow. I'm going to be completely proven wrong, as I say. So that'll be interesting. But listen, I'm going to leave you guys. I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.